Have you ever stared at a photograph, a perfect memory frozen in time, and felt a crack spread through it right before your eyes? I saw it on her phone, a notification glowing in the dark at 2 a.m. It wasn't the message itself, but the name attached. Daniel Work. My wife Sarah didn't have a Daniel at her marketing firm. My blood ran cold, a feeling of dread coiling in my stomach like a snake. I knew right then that the life we had built in our quiet Dallas suburb, the one with the white picket fence and Sunday morning pancakes, was a carefully constructed lie. This wasn't just a late-night text. This was the tremor before the earthquake, and I was standing right on the fault line. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 15 years, Sarah was my world. We met in college, 2 kids with big dreams, and not much else. I worked 2 jobs to put her through her MBA. I held her hand through her father's long illness. We celebrated every win, big or small. Her promotion to senior vice president felt like my victory too. But lately she'd become distant, a stranger in our own home on Mockingbird Lane. The late nights at the office became more frequent, the business trips longer. She'd come home smelling of a perfume that wasn't hers, a faint scent of whiskey on her breath when she claimed she'd just been drinking coffee. When I'd ask, her eyes would turn to steel. "Are you questioning me, Mark? After everything I do for us," she'd say, her voice dripping with a condescending chill that made me feel small, paranoid. The paranoia was a poison she fed me daily. She'd rearrange my things, then ask why I was so forgetful. She'd lose my car keys before an important meeting, watching with a smirk as I tore the house apart in a panic. It was subtle, manipulative, designed to make me question my own sanity. The villains in this story, Sarah and her lover, they felt untouchable. They moved through our life, my life, with an arrogance that was breathtaking. I felt myself shrinking, the confident man I once was dissolving into a nervous wreck, haunted by the ghost of a happy marriage. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday. I came home early, hoping to surprise her. Her car was in the driveway, but the house was silent. I walked upstairs, and our bedroom door was slightly ajar. I heard her voice, not the loving tone she used to reserve for me, but a low, sultry whisper. "I can't wait, Daniel. He has no idea. He's so predictable." Then I heard his laugh, a smug, guttural sound coming through her phone's speaker. My world didn't just crack, it shattered into a million pieces. I backed away, my hand over my mouth to stifle a sob, and fled the house. I drove aimlessly for hours, ending up in a deserted parking lot overlooking the Trinity River, the Dallas skyline a blur through my tears. The humiliation was a physical weight, crushing my chest. I wasn't just betrayed, I was a punchline. Fool. That night something inside me died. The loving, trusting husband was gone. In his place, something cold and methodical began to grow. The next morning, I woke up with a chilling clarity. Grief was a luxury I couldn't afford. Revenge was a necessity. I started with small things. I installed a keylogger on the family computer. I purchased a high-end voice-activated recorder, the size of a shirt button, and sewed it into the lining of her favorite briefcase. I became a ghost in my own home, a silent observer gathering evidence. The texts were sickening. They talked about me, laughing at my cluelessness. They planned their meets at the Hotel Zaza on Leonard Street, a place we'd celebrated our 10th anniversary. The receipts I found weren't just for dinners. They were for weekend getaways, expensive jewelry. Things she told me were corporate gifts. I contacted the best divorce attorney in Dallas. It's a shark named Eleanor Vance. I walked into her office on Main Street with a briefcase full of evidence, transcripts of their calls, GPS data from a tracker I'd placed on her car, bank statements showing massive withdrawals from our joint account, which I cross-referenced with hotel bills in Daniel's name. Eleanor looked at me, a flicker of something pity, respect. In her eyes, "Mr. Collins," she said, her voice firm, "we are not just going to divorce her. We're going to dismantle her." The plan was set. We would wait for the perfect moment. Sarah's arrogance was her downfall. She was being honored at the annual Dallas Business Gala, a massive event with everyone who was anyone in attendance. She insisted I'd be there, her supportive husband, the prop for her perfect life. It was to be her crowning achievement. Daniel would be there too, as her colleague. The night of the gala, I played my part. I smiled, shook hands, and told everyone how proud I was of my brilliant wife. She was radiant, soaked in the adoration of the crowd, completely unaware of the storm about to break. During her acceptance speech, her lawyer Eleanor served Daniel with a lawsuit right there in the ballroom for alienation of affection and misuse of joint marital assets. He went pale, stumbling over his words as he tried to wave the papers away. At the same moment, a massive screen behind Sarah, intended for a slideshow of her accomplishments, flickered to life. It wasn't photos of her career. It was a picture of a hotel bill from the Zaza, next to a text from her to Daniel. "Can't wait to get away from him. See you tonight." Then another, a transcript of their phone call. My voice-activated recorder working its magic. "He's so pathetic. He actually believes I'm working." The room fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. Sarah froze, her face a mask of horror. Her boss, her clients, her friends. Everyone saw. The whispers started, then grew into a tidal wave of gasps and angry murmurs. She tried to speak, but no words came out. She just stood there, exposed, her perfect world incinerated by the light of a projector. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. She was fired the next day. Her friends vanished. The lawsuit bankrupted Daniel and destroyed his career. In the divorce proceedings, thanks to the mountain of evidence, the judge awarded me everything. The house, the majority of our assets, and even made her liable for my legal fees. She was left with nothing but the public shame she had earned. The last time I saw her, she was moving her things out of our house into a small beat-up car. The arrogant, untouchable queen of Dallas's business was gone. In her place was a broken woman, her eyes empty. She didn't look at me. She couldn't. Tonight the house is quiet. The rain is tapping against the window pane just like it did the night my world fell apart. I poured myself a glass of whiskey and stood in the empty living room. There's no victory parade, no feeling of triumph, just a profound, chilling silence. I got my revenge. I won. But all I can feel is the hollowness where a life used to be. Some fires, once they burn everything down, leave nothing but cold, empty ash. The end.